Hello, my name is Robert Ferguson and welcome to a video about the wild creatures of Hong Kong. So I've just finished and published a book called The Bugs of Hong Kong. So I thought it would be useful today to try and define what a bug actually is. And one way of doing that is to first of all look at what a bug is not. And to help us do that, we can look at this chart of the animal kingdom. And we can see that the animals are all classified and ordered according to their shared characteristics. So working through this, we can see first of all protozoa come up, and they are the tiny microscopic organisms like amoebas and things like that. So let's leave them to one side. Then we get into what are called vertebrates, and that means that they have a backbone, and these are typically the larger animals like the mammals, the fish, reptiles, birds and things like that. So clearly our bugs do not belong there. Then everything else left is an invertebrate, so it doesn't have a backbone or a skeleton. And under that we have first of all the mollusks, the slugs, snails, annelids and other wormy things. So let's leave them aside too. And what we're left with then is the phylum called arthropods. And arthropod can be known as a bug, and a bug therefore can also be known as an arthropod. And to qualify for that, there are four main characteristics that these little creatures have. First of all, they have articulating or jointed appendages at their legs and their feet. They have a rigid, harder outer casing called a exoskeleton, because they don't have a skeleton or a backbone. They have defined body segments, and they are the same either side. If you draw a line down the middle, they are bilaterally symmetrical. And when we look at this phylum of arthropods, we can see that there are four main classes of creatures within that. So the first one is a surprising one. It's the crustaceans. So yes, a crab is also a arthropod. Then we have the myriapods. Those are the centipedes and the millipedes. Then, as this little picture shows, we have the spiders and the scorpions. We have the arachnids. And last, but certainly not least, we have the insects. And the insects is by far and away the greatest number of species and numbers in this particular grouping of bugs. And insects are, they have three body segments, they have 6 legs, and if you ever find a little beastie with wings, then it's guaranteed to be an insect, because out of all the arthropods, only the insects can actually fly. And I mentioned that we have an incredible number of insect species, and this chart can show us just how that compares with the rest of all the living things in the world. With over 1 million described different species of insect now, well over half all the other living organisms are now classified as insects. And that includes plants and fungi, protozoa, everything else in the world. And someone has worked out there's around 10 quintillion insects in the world today, a number beyond the number of stars in our galaxy, almost unfathomable. So to try and put that in perspective, they worked out that if you divided our Earth up into football-sized pitches, then each area, each football-sized pitch would have about 40 million insects on average. And within the animal kingdom, if we lined up all the different animal species one after the other, then an astonishing 1 in 4 would actually be a type of beetle, and 1 in 10 would be a specific type of beetle called a weevil. So then we come to the point that maybe some people are unhappy to call all insects or arthropods bugs. And this is because if we look into the dictionary, one of the meanings is actually, one of the definitions is that a bug can be known as a true bug. And a true bug is a specific type of insect in the order Hemiptera. And these have a shared characteristic of piercing, sucking mouth parts. They have hard and shortened forewings, and they also do not have a chrysalis, so they have an incomplete metamorphosis. So some examples I can show here are the plant hoppers, cicadas, shield bugs, stink bugs, lantern bugs, and the red bugs, for example. So some people would say Only those type of animals should be known as bugs, but really perhaps we can leave them as true bugs. And if we look into another dictionary definition, perhaps more used to the layman, then we can see that a bug is an insect or a similar small creature with those defining characteristics of arthropods that we mentioned before. So there we have it, the bugs are defined. Thank you for watching. We will be looking at the amazing biodiversity of Hong Kong across many of the different creatures in future videos, eagles and owls and how creatures hunt. We'll be looking at what perhaps are some of the more dangerous animals that we have here in Hong Kong, and also touching on some of the environmental and conservation issues and challenges facing our wildlife. Thank you for watching.